You have said you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. There are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying.
So 2 women have been caught lying, so their testimony has been tainted. Emotional manipulation is not illegal. You can call it unethical, but it is not illegal. And as I mentioned, women do more of the emotional manipulation.
Damn, Perk did this? I don't need no one to save me. I was gonna be the greatest. All that time in that basement.
You're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Human trafficking. And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people or women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. That a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence. But let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Gonna stop it right there. See what this is what we call right here a pigeonhole tactic, right? So she tried to say really quickly. First, she said that there are some things that you say that give a harmful influence. Then he said he debunked that, and what he said was that there are other things and there are other things in policies. He didn't say the word policies, but that's what he was alluding to, that have a much harmful, impact than what he's done. And then she tried to say it again, and then now she tries to pigeonhole him. Now let's see how he pushes back on this one.
Necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that. But it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
I agree with that. I agree with that a lot, right? I believe all of last year, and it could be now, but I remember that Andrew Tate was like the most Googled person in the world at one point. Yeah, this guy has a very, very strong influence, and we all know that if you are messing with people who don't want you to have the power, they will try to do whatever it is to take some things away from you.
Have you anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly, let's begin. Let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the one's already been thrown out by a judge. There's no evidence.
Okay, so the grape charge, for the YouTube algorithm. So for the grape charge, that's already been thrown out by the judge. And and if some people are watching from another group that I'm in, I know that there was another conversation about that. And so just want to make that clear. The grape charge has been thrown out. So that's no longer an issue. Right? Now, she talks about emotional manipulation. Now, let's just be transparent here. Guys, for the ladies that's watching, right? Now, when it comes to emotional manipulation, who does most of the emotional manipulation? Men or women? And there's nothing illegal about it. But if we're going to keep it honest, women do the emotional manipulation more than men. That's completely fine. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying what it is. So you're trying to say that this guy did emotional manipulation. There isn't anything illegal about that.
You have said on the website for your original website for the Husbands University that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting their lying.
So 2 women have been caught lying. So their testimony has been tainted, right? And the thing is that emotional manipulation is not illegal. You can call it unethical, but it is not illegal. And as I mentioned, women do more of the emotional manipulation, right? So who controls access to physical physical intimacy, right? Women do. And women know that men are trying to get it in. So women will manipulate this guy, right? Like we talked about, I've mentioned this, right? Foodie calls, where the guy goes on a date with the woman, and the woman probably just wants to go to a certain restaurant, or wants to go to a certain restaurant, or whatever the case is. And there was an article that came out on the New York Post where this woman said that she was getting food like for a week. She would get on dating apps and be doing that to these guys. But the thing is, of course, women use their beauty, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the guy wants to get physically intimate with her, and the woman know that. So it's like, okay, you want to take me out? Cool, I'll go out with you. She has no interest in this guy. So why are they trying to come after him or any guy that's like that? Women do this all the time. I'm not trying to make this a man-woman thing. I'm just calling it what it is.
It's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting, because if I was a matrix-controlled organization and my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name, you're telling me that they've chosen a crime which, 1, is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility, and 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigators.
Can I finish, please?
You're not answering the question I asked you. You're not answering the question
I am answering the question.
Let me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says,
we can't go into the case. The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution, by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. That the case that's been put against me is completely not fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me.
Yeah, I don't like her questions. I don't like her questions. He's had to warn her at least twice that he can't talk about the case. He's in Romania, right? And he can't talk about the case. And he knows all of the details. He knows all of the evidence evidence, of course, quote unquote, that's supposed to be against him. So I'm sure that Andrew is well prepared, and he just said that he knows that that he will be found innocent. So there's nothing that's going on, and this is what we call a fishing expedition. I am nowhere in law or anything like that, but I know, like he said, prod, I call it fishing.
Used to rock the gold plated, now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.